be seen as positive/negative. Availability. As industries grow, raw materials, depletion, habitat destruction, decoupling, harm. While economic growth is generally seen as positive, it can also be limited by the availability of natural resources. As industries grow, the demand for raw materials increases, which can lead to resource depletion and environmental damage. Moreover, the environmental costs of growth, such as pollution and habitat destruction, can have long-term negative effects on the economy. The concept of decoupling economic growth from environmental harm involves finding ways to continue growing without depleting resources or harming ecosystems. This requires investing in renewable resources, green technologies, and sustainable practices. Be closely tied to. As economies grow, social welfare. Reduce inequalities, opportunities, exacerbate social divides, concentration in the hands of a few, social inclusion, fair wages. Economic growth is closely tied to social development. As economies grow, more resources become available to invest in healthcare, education, and social welfare. Growth can help reduce social inequalities by providing greater opportunities for people to improve their lives. However, growth can also exacerbate social divides if it leads to wealth concentration in the hands of a few. To ensure that growth benefits society as a whole, it is essential to have policies that promote social inclusion, such as improving access to education and healthcare and ensuring fair wages. Critical. Well-educated workforce. Adaptable. In turn, particularly, finance. Therefore, capable of. Education is one of the most critical factors in sustaining long-term economic growth. A well-educated workforce is more productive, adaptable, and innovative, which in turn drives economic development. Countries with strong education systems tend to have higher rates of economic growth and a more dynamic labor market. Education also helps individuals develop the skills needed to succeed in the modern economy, particularly in industries like technology and finance. Therefore, investments in education are essential for fostering a skilled workforce capable of supporting sustainable economic growth. Profound. Psychological. On one hand,
as.
On the other hand, be accompanied by discontent, alienation, feel left behind, pursuit, personal fulfillment. Economic growth can have profound psychological effects on individuals and societies. On one hand, it can lead to increased happiness and well-being as people experience higher standards of living and greater access to goods and services. On the other hand, if growth is accompanied by rising inequality, it can lead to feelings of discontent and alienation, particularly among those who feel left behind. Additionally, the pursuit of economic growth can sometimes lead to overwork, stress, and a loss of personal fulfillment. It is important to balance the pursuit of growth with attention to quality of life and mental well-being. Be seen as poverty, present. Translate into multinational corporations, debt relief, resource depletion, cooperation. Address. Asterisk. As economies become more interconnected, economic growth is often seen as a solution to global poverty, but it presents challenges in a globalized world. Growth in developed countries may not always translate into growth for developing countries, especially if wealth is concentrated in the hands of multinational corporations. Global economic policies, such as fair trade and debt relief, can help ensure that growth benefits all nations. Additionally, the effects of global economic growth, such as climate change and resource depletion, require global cooperation to address. As economies become more interconnected, the need for international collaboration to manage growth sustainably becomes even more important.